We have the same amount of responsibilities and duties, right? So I'd consider that kind of like a circle. And then we have one person above us who's the CA or the community advisor. So that person would, I guess, be, if you made a pyramid, be above us. And then finally, the boss that the community advisor reports to is the house fellow, who's in charge of the entire house and is paid by student life. Student life, mostly everyone tends to be very casual because we're all very friendly with each other, but in the information that I would tell them, it's a little different. RAs, I mean fellow RAs, we just tell them about normal everyday to-day stuff. If situations get more serious, then you would probably talk to your community advisor about something that might be worrying you. Once a week, you're either meeting with your CA or your house fellow, right? Some of the roles that we have to fulfill are an emergency responder, as I mentioned before, peer advisor, community role model, things like that really, that are just some of the things we have to fulfill as an RA. This is more of a personality thing, but I take more ownership of it. Granted, student life tells me to do stuff, and I go through it, but it's still, like, I can always defy student life if I personally felt the need, but, like, my own personality is like, no, what student life is saying is right, this is probably what I should do in this situation. They have more experience, so I'll probably follow what they say. Some situations that we have a rigid guideline for that we need to follow would be, I guess, alcohol policies. No alcohol is allowed on freshman dorms at all. We find you, that's a one-hit strike. That's pretty much the system we go by. You're not supposed to give them like leeway. You're just supposed to be like, we caught you, you're not supposed to be doing this, right? Long story short, I just found a bunch of people drinking, and then they're not supposed to be drinking because it's a freshman dorm, so I had to lay down the law. You know what, this is not the right time to, just like call them up and then completely destroy them for the like entire year, right? Because then they would have had community service, they had a lot of obligations and wouldn't have enjoyed their freshman year. Plus that would have put a strain on almost my, not my respect for me, but their trust for me, right?
I probably only had a couple people, and then the rest of the people worked in various ways for the rest of those people. Usually in the real estate business you have younger people that are reporting to older people. In the real estate business you have development people, you have leasing people, you have management people. Those are kind of the way it's broken out in the development business. Everybody has their specialty, but everybody needs to be well versed in everything else. Whether you're making coffee or underwriting the financial aspect of a deal, you need to be pretty well versed in all aspects of what we do, because I would think that's similar in all small companies. You wear a lot of hats in any given day. When the company was larger, there was very specific tasks, and you might have floated on the edges of those, but you weren't directly involved in all the different aspects. But now that we have a smaller company, everybody's really involved. Most of the people are involved in various aspects, not one specific aspect. It's a Pennsylvania limited liability company, very similar to a limited partnership, or we used to have a corporation, and now it's a limited liability company. And they're very similar in the state of Pennsylvania. They're just from a tax structure, it's just a little more beneficial these days. I have partners in my projects. They're limited partners. I have one joint venture project, a hotel that I own, that we're co-managing members of. But for the most part, I'm typically the general partner, the sole general partner in my deals, and the general partnership is where all the control lies. I let everybody, on a day-to-day basis make their own decisions, and sometimes, those don't work out so well, but especially the young guys, they need to have some decision-making authority, so.
Yeah.
But everybody knows if there's a big decision, especially that has a material financial impact, that, they've got to kind of run it by me.